Hi guys, I'm back for your weekly horoscope. It's really good to be back. I've been away for 2 weeks. I celebrated my 40th birthday on the 8th of September and I took 2 weeks off and I had the best time. So thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday. I had a really great time and I'm really happy to be back to do this weekly horoscope for Monday, the 20th of September, going through until Sunday, the 26th of September 2021. As always, I'm going to give you a rundown of what the planets are doing in the coming week, how the energy is going to influence you, or what it's likely to influence you into doing, and how you can work with that, make the most of the energy, and avoid some of the possible pitfalls of it. But what I noticed this week is that every day is very, very different. So you may feel like you're a little bit all over the place and like you're getting emotional whiplash. So it's really important this week to just be kind to yourself and to give yourself the time to breathe and to kind of regroup and not to feel like you have to do everything at once. It's not a good time to really put yourself under a lot of pressure or to set these unbelievable expectations for yourself. That'll be even more difficult. And it's important that you are on your own team this week, that you're on your own side, which I think in general is a good thing to do, to be on your side and to support yourself through whatever is going on. Okay, so on Monday, the 20th of September, we've got the Pisces moon forming a conjunction with Neptune in Pisces. And you can see why that's going to bring up a lot of emotions. The moon is how you feel and what comes naturally and easily to you. And with the moon being in Pisces, you're immediately connected to the abstract, to the ethereal and spiritual and creative side of things. And Neptune is the water planet of dreams and psychic ability and the intuition and everything that is unseen. That is in the sign that it rules Pisces. So the abstract world is going to seem very, very important to you. And it connects you hugely with your own feelings and your own creativity. And also because that is so strong, it may feel very natural to listen to the inner voice, to trust your own intuition, and also to get messages from the other side. The Pisces moon also sextiles Pluto in Capricorn. It opposes the sun in Virgo and quincunxes Mercury, the communication planet, in Libra. So Pluto in Capricorn, also in the sign that it doesn't rule Capricorn, but Pluto is very much aligned with Capricorn because Pluto is death and rebirth and transformation. It rules Scorpio, which is about emotional transformation and change, but Capricorn is the worker. So Pluto being in Capricorn is kind of like the tower in the tarot, as far as I'm concerned, because you're able to make practical, physical changes, and the desire to change things, the way things look, the way your routine goes, that feels very natural. So with the moon and Pluto forming this sextile, you can think about your life and what you like and what you don't like, and it immediately offers you a solution as to how you should change things so that they suit your needs more effectively. Sun in Virgo is about getting organized and getting grounded. It's another earth sign, so it really allows you to follow up on your ideas and thoughts. And Mercury in Libra makes things more beautiful, and you're thinking about how you can make life sunnier for yourself and for other people. It also really connects you with how other people are going to be influenced by your decisions and by the actions you take. So you're feeling naturally considerate. Venus is in Scorpio, which is like, wow, it's like I really feel things. Everything is super intense. Venus is the planet of love and beauty and creativity. And when it's in Scorpio, it's like you really dig deep and you operate at the, bottom of the sea level of emotions. So everything feels huge and important. That quincunxes Chiron in Aries, which is nice because it gives you a sense that you owe it to yourself to be happy and to adjust your life to meet your needs, which may sound obvious to some of you guys, but for some people, your own feelings and your own requirements and your own needs are often dismissed for the sake of other people's. So you are on your own side here. Doing something for yourself isn't going to feel selfish, it's going to feel important and healing. Mercury in Libra then trines Jupiter in Aquarius. So that's great because connecting with other people and socializing, that's going to feel very good and easy and positive. So if there are relationships which are somewhat a little bit touch and go, it could go either way, it's good to connect with people like that because you're able to stay positive and focus on constructive things that will feel good to everyone. So with this amazing energy in place here on Monday, it's going to be super unlikely that you begin the week with this huge sense of clarity or that you feel particularly practical, even with the sun in Virgo being in the mix, because all the water stuff kind of mitigates that a little bit. You may get caught up in your own feelings, and the bigger picture may kind of elude you. So your feelings are everything. With that said, try not to take these huge life-changing decisions based on a whim. Look at whether this is an idea or a feeling you've had before, whether it's come up a few times, and then take action. If it's just like, at 3:02, I feel this, and at 3:03, I have to throw my whole life up in the air, that's a big risk. So try and avoid that. Look at the long term and don't obsess over temporary problems, which will seem bigger than they actually are. So try and keep things in perspective. You may have a sense that you need to make a drastic change to feel better. And that kind of sentence, I need to make everything different immediately right now, that really identifies the ego very quickly, because when you are being asked to completely uproot yourself or to create huge change based on nothing really other than a feeling, you're in somewhat treacherous territory. So watch out for that. And, if you have that desire, I need to change everything, and you hold back on it, it can feel very frustrating. So look at the imagination, use that to your advantage, and kind of try and flesh out a real plan. It's better to wait out really intense temporary feelings like that, and instead share your thoughts and feelings with other people. Relationships are supported anyway, so you may find that other people are going through the same thing and that you can inspire each other to do something together. Especially if you think you have to do something that in itself is somewhat harmful to improve the way you feel within, that's a big red flag. So I know smoking is bad for me, but I feel nervous, so I'm going to have a cigarette, even though I haven't smoked in 10 years. That kind of stuff. Watch out for that. It seems ludicrous to say that kind of thing. It's like, why would I ever make a decision like that? But when the feelings are that important, or seem that important, and you don't have the bigger picture, like you're thinking, well, I need to change how I feel immediately, I don't care about what's to come, then you can really take those kind of decisions which don't really help you in the long term, and in fact cause another problem which you then have to work to resolve. So it's a waste of your time. Tuesday, the 21st of September, we have a full moon in Pisces at 1:55 in the morning, and that's based on Europe time. The full moon is a time when the moon really lets go and it showers us with a huge amount of energy. I'll make a separate video on this as well to go into the details, but it takes Monday's energy and it really heightens it even more. So the imagination, the intuition, what's going on within is super important. And the fact that I just mentioned doing something which seems to be harmful in the here and now, the red flag and common sense and being reasonable and being accountable and thinking about, the bigger picture really goes out the window. So you have to kind of do that for yourself. The good thing about a full moon in Pisces is that all of the unmanifest, the spiritual, the creative stuff, that's also heightened. So you trade in kind of reason for creativity. And because we live on planet duality, when one thing goes up, the other thing goes down. That's usually the way it works. The moon in Pisces then opposes the sun in Virgo. So bye-bye accountancy, bye-bye looking at all the little details. You don't care about those anymore. You care about your feelings and what makes life seem magical and glamorous and worth living. And again, you can see how that opens the way for you to behave in ways which aren't really amazing. So you've got £500 in the bank, but you want to feel better by going on a huge shopping spree and you spend £1,000. It may make you feel okay in the moment, but then in the long term, it's like, I went over my limit on my credit card. Now I've got charges to deal with. Now I've got all this to deal with. So don't, or try not to create problems for yourself just because you want a temporary release from things that feel uncomfortable. Feel your feelings, and this is me saying this, so I know what that sounds like. The negative feelings that we have aren't enjoyable, but that doesn't mean you're going to die from feeling them or by sitting with them and going through it. In fact, the best way to resolve those difficult feelings is to go through them and wait for them to dissipate. And usually they teach you something. Usually you get something out of it. The moon enters Aries at 1:13 in the morning. So with the moon going from Pisces, the water sign, the last sign of the zodiac, and now going into a fire sign, Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, it's like, boom, let's get going, let's do things. So you kind of, it's not that you come back down to earth, but you feel much more ambitious and driven to do something real rather than to kind of navigate the astral plane and to imagine. The Aries moon then opposes Mars in Libra. It sextiles Saturn in Aquarius, conjuncts Chiron in Aries, and quincunxes Venus in Scorpio. So with the opposition to the planet that rules Aries, Mars, being in the sign that's on the other side of the zodiac. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Libra is the seventh, so it's literally in a sign that is the exact opposite of its true nature and what it rules. Mars is kind of conflicted there, and it's like, why do I have to think about other people all the time? Why do I have to make things better for everyone? I'm pretty much only self-interested. So Mars isn't particularly comfortable, but because the Aries moon is there, you're able to take action which makes your life better and helps other people as a side effect. So it's great because you don't really need to be, Mother Teresa here and think about the greater good and how you can use your saintliness to help everyone else. It's a natural side effect of what you're doing anyway. So that's a really good sign, because anything you do that helps other people automatically is really likely to help you as well. Saturn in Aquarius, you have an understanding and an appreciation for the rules and for the greater wisdom of other people. So you respect others, you're not likely to, go overboard with what you're doing. It conjuncts Chiron in Aries, you still owe it to yourself to have a positive experience, and you're not going to be likely to dismiss your own needs. And Venus in Scorpio, again, I'm laughing because Venus in Scorpio is just so over the top. It's really like, wow, I have a paper cut, so I need to cry for 2 hours. It's too much of a good thing. It's like someone kissed me, so now I feel special and beautiful. It's just, you read into things that really are trivial, and your emotions become so intense and you become somewhat hypersensitive that you assign meaning to things which really don't have much meaning. So on Tuesday, you're going to feel incredibly creative and you'll be able to organize your thoughts practically. There's a great sense of drive and ambition, which I mentioned a moment ago. And you'll want to build something of your own, whether that's an artwork or redoing your house or building your empire. You'll want to get your hands on something, and doing something on your own will give you this great sense of accomplishment. And I'm an independent unit. I've created this by myself, for myself, and for other people, and that's a good thing. I'm proud of that. So if you do have the opportunity to do anything like that, go for it. So it's a great time to start a new business, or to launch a new project, or to make the decision, I'm going to work at this and I'm going to make it better. Relationships and friendships will feel positive, and that continues from Monday, but there is this independent streak in you that wants to prove something. So it's not just about keeping other people happy, it's about keeping yourself happy too. On Wednesday, the 22nd of September, the sun goes into Libra. And the sun is your identity. It's on a conscious level what is important to you and what strengthens you. And that highlights relationships. It highlights the most beautiful things in life. It has an appreciation for balance and reason and seeing things from many different perspectives. So it kind of pulls you out of yourself a little bit, and it gives you a sense of, I'm not the only person on the planet. Other things matter too. So it gives you, it brings you back to the right size. So it's not grandiosity or feeling overly, a lack of self-esteem. It's finding your rightful place somewhere in the middle. Mercury is also in Libra, and that squares Pluto in Capricorn. So this kind of signals that you are likely to do things which don't benefit you or that you don't like for the greater good. And Chiron isn't making a big appearance on Wednesday, the 22nd. So make sure that you don't throw your own agenda out the window. And that's interesting to say that, because a lot of people, you would say, well, my agenda is all that matters. A lot of people are very committed to their own happiness and their own needs. So for some people, that's a ludicrous statement. But for other people, especially people who are codependent or who don't really know who they are, or who want to find acceptance, or who really struggle feeling worthy or entitled to living their own life, that's something that, is going to resonate. So make sure that you are still in your own corner and that you do stick to your agenda and your plans. The Aries moon sextiles Jupiter in Aquarius, so other people can be really helpful in your journey forward in this building of your empire. It squares Pluto in Capricorn, so as a result, your whole reality can change, and it opposes Mercury in Libra. So there's an inner dialogue, which is really important. So despite the fact that Chiron isn't available as such on Wednesday, the 22nd, it is available, but it doesn't make any significant aspect patterns to any of the other planets. The opposition with Mercury in Libra takes care of that for you. So you still are connected to self. Altogether on Wednesday, the 22nd, networking and relationships and group efforts can change everything. And because you have that balance between the self and other people, you'll really be able to make the most of teamwork. You may get some news from a family member or a boss, and it's the perfect time for taking joint action and or coming to a unanimous decision. So, if the board is meeting for something and you haven't been able to agree for weeks or months, meeting again on Wednesday, it's really likely that other people are going to see your point of view and you'll see theirs, and you can come to some sort of agreement. It's really good for that. Love it. Thursday, the 23rd of September, we've got the moon going into Taurus at 2:38 in the afternoon. And again, that's a totally different energy. Taurus is really about being grounded and taking control of your physical circumstances. And I haven't been speaking that much about that, especially at the beginning of the week with all the water floating around and you being really interested in the imagination. So on Thursday, things like money become important, the way your house looks, your time, physical objects, the way certain environments make you feel. That becomes much more important. So you become like a physical being much more than an ethereal astral body. It's, the difference between being a spiritual being, having a human experience. Yeah. So at the beginning of the week, spirituality is everything. And then on Thursday, the human experience becomes much more important. Venus in Scorpio opposes Uranus in Taurus. So even though you still have these super intense feelings, they're very unlikely now to really just create chaos in your life. You're much less likely to say, I have a great job and I've lived in this country for 20 years and my family are all here. But because at 5 in the afternoon I fell in love, I'm going to move to Australia and that is okay. You're very unlikely to do that kind of thing. In fact, it takes it to the other extreme. That's why the whiplash, because now you're like, oh, well, I don't love you, but getting married sounds like a really great opportunity for financial security or living in a nice house and stuff like that. And Venus in Scorpio with the opposition with Uranus in Taurus is conducive to that, because it's like, we don't want any chaos, please, in terms of money or living situation or the environment. The only thing that matters is security. So if you have to sell yourself and your own feelings down the river to feel secure in the world, then do that. So you see, it's the exact opposite to the beginning of the week. So be careful with that kind of stuff. The Taurus moon then squares Saturn in Aquarius. So the greater wisdom of humanity and the rules can actually inform what you're doing in a positive way. And it quincunxes the Sun in Libra and Mars in Libra. So Taurus and Libra, they're both ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity. So the way things appear and your place in the world and what the world actually looks like is very, very important. And you'll want to be in an environment that supports you and makes you feel safe and at home. So again, that whole trading things in for the sake of security is a big risk on Thursday. And that's interesting, because in my experience, if you do things for the money, if you do things for the security, for the safety, you're always going to lose a part of being alive. Because, this has been a big theme for me in my life, because I'm a Virgo, I'm an earth sign, so I really get this. The more you do something for the physical benefit, the more you lose emotionally and spiritually. It's like chipping away at yourself and losing parts of yourself. Because, again, my experience has shown me that you're not on planet Earth to feel safe or to have things that you can count on beyond the shadow of a doubt. Because our existence here on this earth is temporary. Everything we have, the house, even if you own your house, you probably rent the land. Everything is temporary. And trying to cement your position in the world is going to cost you big time emotionally. So really avoid that if you can. So on Thursday, feeling in control is super important to you. Your appearance and your physical health may also become big themes. Not just the world around you and the environment, but your environment, your body will become very important. So it can go to the point of being extreme, and you may obsess over some sort of detail and will want to take charge of it to an excessive level. So, if you've had this nose for 40 years, but then on Thursday, the 23rd, you're suddenly like, I need a nose job immediately, then that's based on this excessive energy. Feeling power, so don't try and see that for what it is, and don't try not to make the appointment immediately. Feelings of powerlessness or being out of control will be super frustrating for you on Thursday, the 23rd as well, because Taurus likes to be in charge. So if certain things are out of your control, then just have a word with yourself and say, do you know what? I am not God. I'm not going to be in control of everything all the time. So calm down, chill. You may also have unbelievable expectations of yourself on Thursday, and you need to be the best at something to feel good. So again, look at that for what it is. There are billions of people on this planet. There's always going to be someone who's better than you. There's always going to be someone or something which is number one, which makes you number two. So if you have this huge expectation to be the world's most amazing, hairdresser on this day, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. You can do your best and try and work with what you've got, but if you absolutely need to feel validated by your position in society or the world, then you're always going to be fighting a losing battle. Because even if you are number one, then you can be pretty certain that the future number one is being born right now. Yeah, and that's no great insight. If you've looked at kings and queens or royal family, that's the way it works. Friday, the 24th of September, the Taurus, we've got a very clear day on Friday, the 24th, because we've only got 3 aspect patterns which really matter, which really put a lot of focus on them. So we've got the moon in Taurus, so I like to be in control. That's what feels good and natural. It sits on top of, it conjuncts Uranus and Taurus, so they blend their energies together. So chaos in the real world is something that I need to take charge of, and I need to really get a hold of the things which are impossible to get a hold of. So the unreasonable expectations continue to be there. And the Taurus moon opposes Venus and Scorpio. So now you still have the big feelings, but they don't matter compared to what you want in the real world. So again, it doesn't matter if I'm unhappy in this relationship, as long as it provides me with some sort of security and it reduces the amount of unpredictability in my life, then that is okay. Don't go for that. It will always come with a huge cost. It never pays off. And the security is an illusion anyway, because sooner or later it comes to an end. It all comes to an end sooner or later, one way or another. And yeah, investing in this belief of permanence is really not helpful. Even if you do live somewhere for 40, 50 years, then that's 40, 50 years. It's not forever. So on Friday, watch out for this, because the energy is super problematic if you're impulsive or if you have a bad temper, because this control stuff is so important to you. If you don't get what you want, and if you can't do immediately what you desire right now or get what you want right now, then you'll get frustrated and irritated. When things don't go your way, you may want to throw your toys out of the pram and stomp your feet. It's kind of like, it takes you back a little bit and it makes you somewhat immature. You have the potential to make a huge change based on a whim, and that's something that we've seen pretty much all week. So with that kind of stuff, really watch out and see it for what it is. On the flip side, if it takes you ages and ages and ages to make a decision, it's a good day to go one way or the other and to stick with that decision. So try and find a happy middle ground there. On Saturday, the 25th of September, we've got the moon still in Taurus, and it sextiles Neptune in Pisces. So at the beginning of the week, we had the moon in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces, which was like too much of a good thing. On Saturday, the Taurus moon, which is earth, and Neptune in Pisces, which is water, they combine both feminine elements to really allow you to appreciate kind of the physical world and to find some sort of more reasonable place in it. You're not as controlling. You're not living in fantasy land. You do occupy planet Earth, but you don't have to control every single thing. So it kind of balances out a little bit on Saturday, which is great. The Taurus moon squares Jupiter in Aquarius. So again, other people can really help and support you. Teachers, books at the library, the internet. There are lots of clever people out there, and there's a lot of information out there which can help you on your journey. So don't feel like you need to figure everything out by yourself. You don't. It trines Pluto in Capricorn. Oh, okay. So any physical change that you are not in charge of will feel like a big problem. And it may cause you to ignore it now. You may not have the time or patience to deal with problems. You only want to deal with happy things. So make sure that, you stay on top of things, that you run your errands, that you do your chores, that you manage the physical world to a certain extent. It doesn't mean you have to spend the whole day washing dishes, but it means that, at least devote 5 minutes to it if they're piling up. The Taurus moon also quincunxes Mercury in Libra. So beautiful words and hearing nice things and seeing beautiful things, that is like, it's soothing to you. It's like balm to the weary spirit. Mars in Libra trines Saturn in Aquarius. So you really see the beauty in the wisdom of other people. So you're very teachable. You're very appreciative of what other people have learned, what other people have experienced. So if you want to visit, a relative because you love them and you want to, but you find it difficult and you struggle with your patience, like hearing a story from, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, but like, for instance, a problem I had, for instance, with my granddad, when he was still alive, he talked very slowly. Every word, there was like a 5-second pause. And when I was 18 years old, I didn't have the patience for that. I just couldn't. I was just, oh my God, just don't slow talk, speak quickly. And I didn't listen to any of the stories. So I don't have a lot of the family history that my cousin has, because he spent hours and hours and hours chatting with him because he had the patience, right? So if you're like that, which isn't the best characteristic, but it's just one of those things, fact of life, none of us are perfect, that if you do struggle to have the patience and to listen and to let people operate at their own pace, then Saturday is good for that, because you see the value in that experience and you're able to dismiss the delivery because you really see and you want to hear what's gone on. And you find beauty in another person's way of life and what they've gone through and sharing that with them. So it's a great day to share and to be heard and to open up and to let other people in on your experiences and to feel seen and heard. Overall, though, what's going to be really important with this kind of energy is the arts, performance, spirituality, and imagination. They all they start to have paramount importance to you. So you're really like a connoisseur of the beautiful things in life on Saturday. You may be super, super intrigued by the beauty and ethereal nature of it all, that you may forget to do practical things like paying your electric bill. So you take off into fantasy land again on Saturday. So make sure that you do the dishes, that you take care of the things that need to be done on a day-to-day basis. Maybe if you don't have to make the bed, then skip it on Saturday, because does that have to be done? So certain people may disagree with that. Okay, so again, because it's extreme, the whole week is pretty extreme. Use the energy to your advantage if you've been suffering with writer's block, or you can't see a future for yourself because things have been so difficult and hard, and allow yourself to dream. And find that middle ground between letting the imagination make you feel like, wow, this is worth it, this is beautiful, and I can do some of the boring stuff that I usually don't want to do. I can take care of everything. And because of that middle ground, the earth and water stuff, you're really able to take care of within. Because you have to dream and imagine that life can be better and amazing if you want to take action which actually do those things. It comes from in here. You see the beauty in something, so therefore you can create it on planet Earth. It usually is not the other way around. So if you've been feeling somewhat beaten down or depressed or like, ugh, this is all so terrible and miserable and boring, then, which is something that I think most of us hit that point at some stage, give yourself a time out, dream again, and look at what works for you specifically, what inspires you. And it doesn't have to be something hugely meaningful even. It can be, if you like to do something frivolous, then do something frivolous. That's the way to get your mojo back. Yeah, dream to get your mojo back on Saturday. Sunday, the 26th of September, we've got the moon in Gemini at 2:36 in the morning. No, we've got the moon entering Gemini at 2:36 in the morning. And the moon in Gemini is very able to multitask. It's able to look at different things at the same time with a light and breezy kind of attitude. Gemini is really good at not being overly obsessive about one particular thing. It can see the importance of several things. It can look at the complex nature of life, and it doesn't simplify and boil things down to their most, it doesn't go into oversimplification. So you have an appreciation for all the multitude of things that are going on in your life, and you'll be able to deal with all of them very, very well. And that equips you to have a really fabulous time because you can do this and you can take care of that and that at the same time. The Gemini moon trines the sun in Libra. So you really like to chat on Sunday. Having a great conversation will feel amazing on Sunday the 26th. Saturn in Aquarius is also trined by the moon in Gemini, and so is Mars in Libra. So you can really have a good discussion and get to a sort of same page level with someone else. You're able to create something in teams. You have an appreciation for someone who expresses themselves beautifully. You're able to see the value in someone else's experience again. Yeah, so the weekend is really good to connect with other people and to honor what they've been through and to learn something from them and to be inspired by what they've gone through and to listen to stories, to write stories, and to let yourself be motivated and inspired by the work of other people. If you're an artist and you get your ideas by flipping through magazines, then do that at the weekend. If you're someone who's a historian and you want to find the family history, then go visit relatives who've never shared their history with you and really delve deep into that kind of stuff. The Gemini moon also sextiles Chiron in Aries. So getting it out and talking and sharing is really helpful and positive and will make you feel like you're honoring your own journey and it's going to be healing. Oh, Mercury goes retrograde the next day on Monday the 27th, and it stays in retrograde until the 18th of October. So Mercury retrograde, the communication planet, it appears to go backwards and it complicates communication. So usually it's like, the computer doesn't connect to the internet. Why? The buses run late. I mean, not all the buses, but you may have the experience that something which is usually straightforward becomes much more complicated and time consuming. And why am I having to deal with all these cables when usually they work? Don't lose your rag, don't get annoyed about stuff like that. It just becomes a little bit more time consuming to do all the communication stuff during a Mercury retrograde, but it gives you the wonderful opportunity to look at things differently and to learn new ways of doing things. If you can't connect to the internet via Safari during a Mercury retrograde, you may see the benefits of Google Chrome. I don't know. Doing something differently offers that you would never consider at another time. When you're forced to use it because the other thing doesn't work anymore, you often see something that you haven't been aware of. You learn something. It's a good thing at times. What's not so good is signing contracts and expecting, the letter that you post with a first-class stamp to arrive at 7 in the morning, because that's what always happens. It may be delayed. So just have a little bit of patience with that. On Sunday itself, the Mercury retrograde hasn't happened yet, and we're under the influence of all this Gemini energy and a lot of air energy. Yeah, the only thing that's in fire is Aries. The moon's in Gemini, air. Mars is in Libra, air. Saturn's in Aquarius, air. Sun's in Libra, air. Moon, Gemini, air. So air is about ideas and communication, and that's really good because try and get things organized before Monday the 27th. It's like a last stop of communication and prowess at communication and scheduling and organization before the planet does go retrograde the next day. Overall, the mood really lifts and you find some balance between the inner and outer world, and you ought to have a really easy time of it on Sunday. Yeah, it's good to celebrate and to socialize and to manage any last minute details, to get scheduled and organized, and to have a good time and to chat and communicate with other people and to enjoy the company of other people. So there you go. So it looks like an interesting week. It looks like a good week, but as you can see, the energy shifts and tilts, and it's like, wow, okay, this day is completely different. I need to reorient. So try and go with the flow and stay on your toes and get a lot done, because there is the potential to be super practical here and to really dip your toe into lots of different pools and to get a lot of different areas of your life sorted out and working for your benefit. Because again, with the Chiron and Aries stuff, you're not forgetting about yourself and your own needs. So you are your own best friend. So yeah, work together to make things amazing for yourself. I hope you have a wonderful week. I'm back now in Austria and I'm back to doing readings. So if you would like to speak to me for a personal reading, I use astrology and the tarot and numerology and my intuition in my personal readings. I usually combine them all to get a really good in-depth overall picture of what's going on for you and what the energy is like for you and what's likely to work and what to avoid. If you want me to look at the tarot only or astrology only or things like that, just let me know. I can absolutely adjust the process for you, because it is your reading, whatever you want to really use to give you some answers. The great thing about astrology is I draw up your birth chart. I use your place of birth, date of birth, time of birth. Gives me a chart, a natal chart, a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born. And that really tells me a lot about you, like whether relationships are something that fundamentally build you up or whether they're likely to cause you problems. It talks a lot about spiritual progress and what you can do to develop spiritually. It gives a lot of insights into your personal strengths and weaknesses, finance, communication, family, love, romance, relationships, children, institutions, travel, education, career, hopes and dreams, socializing, friendships, spirituality. Really, it goes into a lot of detail. It's a fabulous tool to see who you are and also what's to come. I look at your progress chart to see how you've changed over time. I use your transits to see what's coming up in future and what's likely to occur. So if you have questions or plans, it's really fab for that. And also like a solar return chart, it's your birthday, and it's a specific type of chart, and it looks at the trends that are likely to appear in the coming year. So not 2020 or 2021, it's your birthday to your birthday next year, and what's really likely to come up and what are going to be big themes in your life. So that's always super helpful. So if you want me to have a look at your details and do a personal reading for you to answer some of your questions, then please do get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. When you get to the website, just scroll down and you'll see a button that says book your reading. Click on that to order your reading with me. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe and share the video online. I always say this at the end of my videos. And I just had to think there for a moment, which you, yeah. So yeah, do those things if you like the video. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Let us know in the comments what's going on and how you're experiencing things. I hope you have a great week, and I'll speak to you for the video I'm going to make on the full moon in Pisces that happens at the beginning of this week. The daily tarot readings I'm going to start doing again, which I'm so looking forward to. I missed the cards, wow. And I'll also maybe do a little bit of an update about, personal update stuff. Okay, so have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.